Alright, so this afternoon I went for a walk outside. It was pretty warm outside. The sun was still up. I think I went at like 5 or 4 o'clock or something like that. And I was just trying to enjoy the moment. I was looking around at the trees, just walking around trying to be mindful, be present in the moment. And as I was walking, I realized something, right? Like something came to mind. I spend most of my life not seeing through my own eyes, but rather seeing the images that form in my brain, seeing the stories that I make up in my mind, the fantasies, the dreams, the daydreams, the lives that I want to live, that I fantasize about in my head, is what I see more than the real world. Seeing a fantasy is not going to get me to that fantasy. Seeing the real world and then changing my real world to become what my fantasy is, or close to it, is how I'll actually get there. But I spend too much time in my head thinking about, random scenarios throughout my day, what I could have said better to this person. Oh, this moment in the day was awkward when I was talking to this person. I should have said this, should have said that. And then every time I make the same mistakes. Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say. It's just a constant loop of just not doing what I wanted to do, not being who I wanted to be in front of other people. That's basically, like, usually when I daydream or I have fantasies, it's usually in a social setting where I could have been more social, I could have been better. And that shows to me that that is my biggest problem. That's my biggest desire right now, is to be more social, be more out there, be more liked. Obviously, like, it's not always super healthy or mentally to have like such a big desire to be liked, but this desire has not gone away since I was born. So I guess the only way is to kind of clench that desire, or I guess feed that desire, or make progress towards feeding that desire. But walking alone specifically, and just being aware of your surroundings. I didn't even take my phone today. This is like usually I take my phone and sometimes I'll record videos outside. But today I just had like some motivation to just like go outside, go for a walk, and just not take my phone, just be with my thoughts and be conscious. Right? I use the word mindful a lot, but I think I want to be conscious. Right? Obviously, I want to be mindful, but I want to be conscious, and I think those are usually used interchangeably, but I do think there's a little bit of a difference. Mindfulness is more about just like being present in the moment and stuff. Consciousness is that, but knowing and being in tune, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know any other way to explain it. In tune, I think. I think that's a good way to put it. Consciousness is being in tune. So how do I become more conscious, and also how do I become more mindful is the question. So the past, like, after I took that walk and I came back, and I was just like really being more conscious. Like, I was just, every moment I was just focused in the moment. I was aware of my surroundings. Another thing that I was working on, like in my head mentally, was not reacting to my thoughts, because a big thing is that we are not our thoughts. We are someone that just observes our thoughts. And it's best to be able to just observe your thoughts and not let them affect you. Now, obviously, if you have like positive thoughts, then you should let them affect you, but you shouldn't let negative thoughts affect you, because everything you think is not you. So how did I do that, like this past hour? Because, not this past hour, like from after I came back at like 5, and then until 6 and like 7, right now it's like 7:30, and 30 minutes ago, I stopped kind of being conscious, and I stopped kind of being mindful. Why did that happen? Because I lost the intention, or I forgot about the intention. I talked about intention in another video. I think it was the last video I posted, or like 2 videos ago. But I talked about intention. When it comes to mindfulness or being focused, working, intention is the best way. Intention is how you do what you want to do. You have to intend to do it. It's not enough to just want to do something. You have to have the intention to do it. So I had the intention to be conscious because I had some motivation of like, I just had some thoughts in my head. I'm like, oh, I need to be more conscious. Just like I hyped myself up like, oh yeah, I need to be more mindful and stuff. So I had that little bit of dopamine and mindfulness, and I created that intention in my mind. Okay, I'm going to be more mindful. I'm going to be more collected. I'm going to be more conscious of my environments, of my mind, of what's going on in my mind, and how I react to it. And then after a while, I lost the intention. I forgot about the intention, and it went down. The mindfulness went down. Yeah, I mean, it obviously didn't go. It didn't like completely disappear. I wasn't like fucking brain dead after that. But yeah. But yeah, so now I'm trying to figure out how do I stay intended? How do I keep that intention? Because like I said, I forgot that I was intending to be mindful, you know what I mean? Right? Like you know when you watch some video about something, let's say mindfulness in this situation, right? And then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna meditate and I'm gonna do all this stuff. You do it for like a day and then you forget the rest. You forget, right? Maybe you do some like really good workout in the gym and it's like, yeah, you get super hyped up, and then next week you forget about it. Right? You get super excited about something when you first hear about it and you're like, yo, this is so good. Like if I keep doing this consistently, it's gonna be great. And then you forget about it. And then the returns from that, whatever doing that, the progress that you would make from doing that goes down because you stopped doing it, because you lost the hype, you lost the motivation, and you forgot maybe. So how do we stop forgetting? So before, I used to have like mindfulness wallpapers and consciousness wallpapers and stuff. I have like shit on my wall. I have stuff on my desk too, post-it notes and stuff, saying like, be mindful, be grateful, don't look at your phone, think with the mind and not the ego, and stuff like that. Just like written on my desk. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember that those were there, honestly. Like, I barely even look at them. Because I also lose the intention to see them. I've used to have mindfulness wallpapers. I used to have a wallpaper that said, I think it was literally just a black screen and then white letters, be mindful. After a while, I just forgot. Like, it just became normal to see that every time I opened up my phone, I would just ignore it, right? I wouldn't even read it. I wouldn't take it in. After a while, I switched to a wallpaper that said Memento Mori, which is, I think, Latin for, like, remember death. It was just basically, like, make the most of it. And I had that, and after a while, forgot about it, right? Like, remember death is like such a, it's a giant statement, right? The magnitude of that statement is insane. Remember death. But when you see that every day, it just becomes kind of normal, right? It loses the effect. Sorry, it loses the effect that it has on us. The first couple of days that you put on a new wallpaper of be mindful, of be, sorry, of like remember death, or if you're, let's say, like one thing is like mewing, you need to mew more, so you put mew as your wallpaper, but after a while you just forget about it, right? You just, or not, you don't forget about it, but you start to ignore it because it's become normal. I have all these post-its. I have all that shit on my wall, right, that I talked about. Honestly, I can't even tell you what it says on my wall because I don't read it. I just kind of, it's just there in my room now, and it's just a normal thing there. Like, I don't know. I know one of them says, like, bench 40-pound dumbbells for 8 reps. Like, that was one of my goals, which I already like completed that goal, and I didn't even remove the post-it note and add a new goal, which is like bench 50-pound dumbbells. Because I kind of just forgot about it. But like, I have a habit tracker up there, which I use like pretty consistently every day. Another thing with the habit tracker, like, if you have a habit tracker, if you don't, you should make one. But if you don't know what that is, it's basically like you have habits. So like meditating, journaling, maybe you can have like studying, go to the gym, go for a walk. Any like good habit, you just put it on a habit tracker, and then you put every single day of the month. You can find one. You can find templates on the internet, right? Just search up a habit tracker template, or you could make one on your phone. Like, there's apps and stuff. Personally, I don't like the apps because I like to minimize how much time I spend on my phone, so I like to keep things paper. Yeah, but basically, what I've been doing, like, I used to have like a big ass habit tracker with like 5, or like, I think at one point it was like 8 habits, and it was just so overwhelming. So now what I have is I have meditation, gratitude, and then sleep. So meditation, like meditating, and it's literally just, if I meditate for like 5 minutes, which is what I did this morning because I didn't have that much time. Usually I do like 15 minutes, but today was 5, but I still checked it off because it was like at least I did it, right? And that's like the most important thing, as like just do it consistently. That's the biggest thing. It's not about like, oh, you have to do like this much every day. It's more important that you stay consistent, because if you do it every day, you're more likely to keep doing it every day, and then you keep improving every day. If you just do it like, if you do like a big ass session, like let's say you go to the gym for the first time, right? And when you first go to the gym, you don't want to go super heavy, right? Because then you're going to get super sore. It's your first time, right? So you get much more sore than like regular gym goers do. And like, remember your first time you got, I don't know what's wrong with my throat. The first time you went to the gym, you got super sore the next day, right? And you didn't even go that hard. So when you go super hard your first time, you don't feel like going the next time, right? You don't want to make it super hard. So the point is just go, like, do it every day. But what I've been doing, like, I got 3 habits now. So meditation, sleep, and gratitude. So meditation and gratitude journaling, I just do in the morning. I write one thing, and I've actually got like, I actually did not do this today. I didn't gratitude today. But I have a notepad, right? And I do like every day I use 1 page. Yesterday was 9/11, so I actually wrote that I'm grateful that, you know, well, I'm grateful like that I'm here today, like I am alive and stuff. Like, I'm grateful for that because a lot of people died on 9/11. And I also wrote that, like, you know, I hope those people rest in peace and stuff. And then I also wrote that I'm grateful that my dad came home safe that night, because even though I wasn't born, right, my dad was in Manhattan on the day of 9/11. So if he didn't come home that day, obviously I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful for that. And then sleep is just, do I sleep on time, and then do I wake up on time? And then I check that off if I do that. I've kind of just rambled on in this video. I forgot what the actual point of this video was. It was about consciousness, or like stuff, or like seeing through your own eyes. That's what it was about. Alright, I'm gonna end the video here. Bye.